The second solution, which gave us the all India rank of 12 was we firstly fine tuned the Quen 2 VL model, 2 billion parameter model using LoRa, then on the training data set. Then we used it to inference.
Hello everyone, joining us today is Jyot Singh Bindra and he is currently pursuing BTech in Electronics, Communication and Engineering in Indian Institute of Information Technology, Allahabad. He got an All India rank of 12 in Amazon Machine Learning Challenge 2024, which is a very famous hackathon, and he's here to share about his experiences. Welcome, Jyot.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, yeah. So, would you like say about a short introduction of yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Jyot Singh. I am a third year undergrad student at IIIT Allahabad. During my 3 years at this college, I have explored various fields like machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, NLP, LLMs, generative AI, alongside web development too. I have participated in various hackathons like the Amazon ML Challenge, where I secured a rank of 12 All India rank. And there were other hackathons like conducted by IIT Kharagpur, BITS Goa, and then there was a hackathon named Hackout, which was conducted by Headout. So yeah, I have participated in various hackathons, and currently I am working as a machine learning research intern at Florida International University, Miami, where I am given the task of making EG-based classification models. And previously, I was interned at API Swan, where I was given the task of implementing a unit test generation system, understanding the whole code base of the user. So yeah, this is my intro.
Great, yeah. So, okay, so can you talk a little bit more about the ML research position that you are at?
So, like I said, I am working in machine learning research in Florida International University. I was quite active in the research field in my college. So I was making research topics or research papers on my college. So our professor referred me to his known professor at FIU. So that was how I got this opportunity. And currently, what my task is to build EEG based classification models. What is EEG? That are the brain signals that are sent by the synaptic impulses of your brain. So classifying them to what the user is thinking right now. So you can even unlock your phone or use your phone without even touching the phone. So basically, you will be wearing a headset that will be capturing the signals, and the classification models will be classifying into the task what you are thinking. Then yeah, then the action will be performed, and that is the system we are working on right now.
Okay, I see. How do you decide which algorithms to use, and like the professor mentors you, or you just like do a lot of trial and errors in this?
So I think it is a mix of both, like trials and error. Also, the professor guides you what algorithms you should use by referring to the research papers, what he thinks can be useful in this case. So I personally read that research papers and see what others have implemented and get the inspiration from them, and then do the trials and error with every algorithm which I think might be useful. So that is how I proceed in my case.
Got it. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. So yeah, so you also mentioned that you got an All India rank of 12 in the Amazon ML Challenge 2024, right? So can you talk a little bit more? Like when did you start participating in hackathons in general?
It was back in my third semester. There was a hackathon named Hackout, which was organized by a company called Headout. So it was a hackathon organized for 8 to 9 colleges like IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, and IIT BHU, and several other colleges. So the first round was an offline round where officials were sent into the respected colleges, and we were uh, asked to implement my solution in front of them, and they selected a combined list of 10 teams which were asked to present their solution in the headquarters of the headout. So and the top three teams were then given the job opportunities in the headout, and currently one of my senior is also working in headout. So this was my first hackathon which I participated in. The motivation behind it was because I feel machine learning is a can become a theoretical field if you're just reading about the concepts. So you should be having the place where you can implement the concepts you have learned. So I feel hackathons are great place which offers you the time and correct opportunity where you can implement the concepts you have learned. So yeah, that is my motivation I feel for participating in hackathons.
Yeah, definitely. Got it. So, and how do you like prepare typically like for a hackathon?
I feel that the learning phase is just the phase you are just learning about the machine learning in general. You don't have to specifically learn for hackathons, but there are several advices like you can ask about from your seniors what were the previous results, what were the things that the previous winners have built, so that you can get the idea of the what is the level of that hackathon, what you are asked or what you are asked from the hackathon, what is the level of the hackathon you should be making projects of. So the seniors can be a good resource to look for, and there is a website called Devfolio. So there are the hackathons listed out and the previous year winners and what projects they made. That can also be a good resource to look on.
Okay, yeah. So like you have participated in lots of hackathons, right? So would you suggest like any are there any kind of specific resources or practices that you find most beneficial for hackathons in general?
uh, I feel the best place to practice is your personal projects, because the same projects can be replicated or can give you idea for your hackathon project. And in general, what you are learning in machine learning or any other development field also gives you ideas what you can build in future. So these two things I feel are the best places to get the motivation and get the ideas what you can build in the hackathons. And yeah, that is a resource I feel is beneficial.
Okay. So like personal projects you mentioned, how do one person like get these personal project ideas? Like LinkedIn, Kaggle, anything else?
uh, I feel the things can be found from your surroundings. For example, like I was working in Geek Heaven, that is like a technical society of our college. So, like our college is known for competitive programming. So there was a problem arising that like there are sheets for DSA and everything else, but there are no more sheets like CP sheets. So how can we integrate AI for sampling out the problems one should do based on its rating? So AI should filter out on the basis of the code forces users, like the previous users who have excelled in their ratings very fastly. So analyzing them and making a sheets based on that AI, using that AI to make that sheets. So this was a problem statement. So this is like a one example, like you can find from your surroundings the projects they want to make. So I feel the surroundings are the best place to look for the personal projects.
Got it. Yeah. I think I will also need that sheet maybe to get
Yeah,
better. Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's a really good one. Yeah, cool. For us, we had a society for competitive coding, but it was not very active. We were generally practicing on our own or in groups like that. Got it. Okay. So coming back to the hackathon, like how do you manage time during a hackathon? I think these are all like 24 hours or a few hours hackathon, right? So how do you ensure like the tasks get completed within the time?
I think you should be making your team likewise. Like for example, if you are participating in a hackathon, you should be knowing what project you will be building there, because you should be assessing the previous year projects that were made. So you should be priorly knowing that what you are going to build in a hackathon. So according to that, make your team such that the one person can be a front end, other person can be a back end, other person can be a machine learning, and so the task can be delegated to each of the person, so that no one should be overloaded with any of the tasks. So this is a thing which I feel helps you to manage the time efficiently, so that no one gets fatigue out, right?
Yeah.
So this is one thing, and other I can say is key, you should be habitual of this in your daily life cycle also, like working to late hours, or you should be habitual of this thing, because you can't just manage this thing in one day, you can't take this thing out in one day, you should be habitual of this thing. So yeah, these two things I feel should be good enough.
So time management, like in general, we should know. That's what you're
Yeah, in
saying.
day-to-day life.
Got it. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So like you mentioned that these projects they were all mostly like based on machine learning and AI, right? So when did you like start learning ML and AI? Like what resources did you use for learning?
Like I started learning it in my first semester. Like there was a senior ma'am. Like when I was in my first year, she was in her fourth year. So she started taking classes for like us that were like 15 to 20 students. She started taking classes on that fundamental concepts. So we would go to her class, and that she would teach us the basic concept. Then she asked us to learn from YouTube the surrounding topics of the topic she has taught. So that was how I was introduced to machine learning. Then I got in contact with various professors of my college. They gave me various tasks. I researched on that task. I learned that in various new fields. So this was my learning curves which I adopted in my college.
Okay. So it was not from college courses. It was like from societies and all, right?
Yeah, like I said, I am from EC background, so there are no courses of ML. So I personally learned ML from the seniors or YouTube and the online resources.
Okay. So can you suggest any like online resources for people who might be interested, like learning?
Yeah, there are several YouTube channels which I have seen, like the Krish Nayak or AI Anytime, and there are also courses on Coursera, the famous one like Andrew NG. I
Mm.
took the LLM one and the NLP course of his.
Mm.
So these were two resources I took, and the others were like my seniors provided me with the sheets they have made or the research papers they have read. In machine learning, I feel research papers are very useful tools which can provide knowledge, because machine learning is a very rapidly growing field, which so it can't be documented rapidly in medium documents or any other fields. You should be actively reading the research papers which are coming on a daily basis. So these are the useful resources I feel.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. In my current job also, I'm an ML engineer. We also have to read research papers like very frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Still, like, suppose when you're in like in first year or second year, how did you filter out these research papers? Like, was it based on a niche that you found more interesting, or just seniors' recommendations?
Uh, it was primarily by my professors. What project I was working on, they gave me ample amount of research papers so that I don't have time to look onto research paper on my own. They gave me ample amount of research papers to look onto. So that was how I did it. But if anyone is looking for how he should be filtering out the research papers, then I think he should be contacting with the professors, because they are in this field for more time. They can give you more advices than you can on your own filter out the research papers. So I feel professors are the one who should you should go into.
Yeah, definitely. But like, how did you approach the professor? How did you know which professor to approach?
Yeah. In my case, it was from Geek Evan Society. Like I was building projects, so professor came to know that I was actively participating in the machine learning realm. So in my college, government provides us the project, so the professors needs the students to fulfill that project. So they came to know about my projects from the Geek Heaven app, which provides us about the daily activities which we are doing. So they came to know about that thing from there, and they contacted me from his own side.
Nice, very good. Got it. Okay. Okay, so let's talk like a little bit about the Amazon ML challenge. So, could you describe like the problem statement that you tackled in this challenge?
So in this hackathon, we were given like a training data set and a test data set, and the data set looked like there was a column with a URL that was pointing to an image. Then there was a query like length or weight, or there was like temperature. So there was a query, and what we wanted to deliver was, from reading that image, we have to answer the query. For example, if the image was like a television screen with dimension marked, like this is 24-inch, that is 12-inch, so and the query will be like length, so we have to give the answer as 24-inch. There was also given a constants.py file that length can be of this units only. So reading that images, we have to answer out the query which was given to us. And the main problem in this was the data set was very huge, like it was like around 80 to 90 GB, I guess. So that was the problem. Not the OCR was the problem, but the data set which they provided was a of size 80 to 90 GB. And that is what I was saying, that you should be asking your seniors out that what was the previous year pattern of the hackathon. So seniors told us about this thing, that these hackathons are usually, the Amazon hackathon is usually data heavy, that the data is very heavy. So we were known of this case, so we rented out the servers from our college priorly. So like this was the hackathon brief.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Got it. Okay, so what was like the timeline for this challenge? Like when does it start and when does it end? Something.
So the submission, so the announcement was made around August last week that the hackathon will be from 13th September to 15th September. So the application form were till the last week of August. Then from 13th September to 15th September was the hackathon time period. 13th midnight to 15th noon. So there were 2 to 3 days for this, and then after 2 to 3 days, they were asking the top 50 students or top 50 teams to give their documented version that what they have done. Then filtering out from them, they gave the ranks up after 2 to 3 days, and then they were asking about the interviews they were scheduling. They were asking about the slots. This was the whole timeline. Then there was after 15 days there was two interviews scheduled. One was for DSA round and second one was for ML round.
Okay, so
Yeah,
after
this
this,
was.
yeah, I mean, after this, so you got, so like people who like qualified these rounds, they got internship, or was it for the stipend?
it, it was like the top 50 teams will get the opportunity for the interviews.
Mm-hmm.
So after 15 days, there were two interviews scheduled. One was for a DSA, and after 7 days of the DSA round, there was second round that was for ML round.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then the students selected after these two rounds were given internship as a ML research intern at Amazon. One of my friends who is in my team is now currently will be going for the summer intern there.
Got it. Got it, got it, got it. Okay. So this was like all India or the top 50 all India.
Yes, top 50 teams of all India.
Got it. So that is like really good.
I think top 10 teams were partly called for the presentation part in the Amazon headquarters. I'm not sure, but that happened for the top 10 teams. But top 50 teams were given the chance for interviews.
Mm-hmm. Got it, got it. Okay, got it. So this would be for the summer intern, and then if the intern performance is good, they would give a PPO or something like that. Got it. Cool. And what was the like prize? There were any prizes or presentation something for this?
There were prizes for first, second, and third team, and apart from that, the prizes were the PP opportunity or the interview opportunity only.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. So like, I mean, so can we talk about like the problem statement more? Like how did you approach an understanding and breaking down the problem?
So, like I said, the problem statement was like there was a image, there was a query, and we have to answer what the value is in that image. So the main problem was that the data set was very huge, like around 70 to 80 GB. So how we tackled it was that we divided the data set among like 8 to 9 chunks or 16 chunks, right? 16 chunks, yes. So we divided into 16 chunks, and we had servers rented out. So we had around 5 servers. So we parallelly processed each of the batch in separate servers so that we don't have to wait for whole data set to be downloaded, then we can implement the machine learning solutions. So this was one thing that we did. Then the solution was like this, that firstly we made a baseline submission of paddle OCR. That was a simple OCR that we made a baseline submission, so that afterwards whichever solutions we are submitting, we can track that how much gain we got from the baseline submission.
Got
So first submission was just a plain paddle OCR submission, that extracting from the text and then answering the query on basis of that. The second solution, the solution which gave us the all India rank of 12 was, we firstly fine tuned the Quen2 VL model, 2 billion parameter model using LoRa. Then on the training dataset, then we used it to inference on the testing dataset. But then also what happened was that usually the Quen2 was answering like the format for Amazon was the numeric value plus the unit, right? So we should, like, if a length is asked, we should be answering it like 12 centimeter. But what Quen2 was doing, it was giving up statements like the value of length is 12 and the unit is centimeters, which was not accepted format from the Amazon. So we have to separately run a parsing pipeline apart from this, that was doing like it was simple regex mapping, that if a unit from that quantity is there, then we should be getting the numeric value previously which was in the sentence, and then making it into the column. So this was one thing, and apart from this gave us a rank about 55 or 60. So it was also not good enough. But what we did apart from this was we observed one thing, that there were many images that were of like cylinder or something like a fixed shape, like was a cylinder and there were lengths were marked and width was marked. So Quentu was not able to understand it because there was no text written alongside it that length is this or something is like this. So he was not able to understand it. So what we did was, apart whatever fields which were not answered by Quentu, what we did was we implemented a Hoff transform, that and plus parallel OCR simple. What it did was it filtered out the straight lines, the horizontal lines and the vertical lines which are present in the figure, and the OCR filtered out the text with its position. So we mapped each line with the nearest text it have. So by that method, we can get each line. Like if length is asked, we will filtering out the all the vertical lines and the text near to it. So we will be answering the text near to it, and that will be the answer. So this was like the final improvement, which gave us a boosting rank from 55 to 12. So this was the whole solution which we presented.
Got it, got it. Yeah, that was really like innovative. Getting the nearest one. Got it. Okay. So were there like any, so yeah, I mean, you explained all the like steps that you did for this. So were there any kind of like obstacles or unexpected challenges during the this ML um like ML challenge? Yeah.
The main challenge was that it was around 9 to 10 hours left for the final deadline, and we were stuck around for the 55 or 60 rank. So we were figuring out what we should do to boost our rank for the top 50 positions. So there was a decision to be taken, because each decision takes like 9 to 10 hours of inferencing. Like I said, the data set was very huge. So if we have to make a submission, it would take around 8 to 9 hours for just for inferencing the whole pipeline. So every step we have to take the decision by filtering out every possible scenario which we can encounter. So we can't just go on and play try and errors while you think that we can try that thing, we can try that. You should be filtering out 2 or 3 approaches only, because in the 2 to 3 days you can implement only 2 to 3 solutions. You can't just go and brute force every approach. So that was one challenge, because of the huge data set, that we were restricted to use only 2 to 3 solutions which we had thought of. So there were quite meetings on that what solution we should finally submit on the last deadline day, and thankfully it turned out to be good, and it gave us a boosting rank.
Yeah. Cool. Um, okay. Oh yeah. So this like more or less takes care of the entire like Amazon ML challenge, right? So how do you think like how important is it to like stay updated with all the latest developments in machine learning? Do you like follow any Substacks or any other like news developments or something?
Um, I feel Medium is a good place for it, and also some LinkedIn professors or Twitter personalities, which tells about the newly things that are going on in the AI field. Also, like I said, the research papers are a very crucial thing in machine learning area. So these are the things which I think you should be using for taking the note of the new things which are coming in the AI world.
Got it. Okay. Um, okay, so are there like any specific programming languages or tools that you prefer for someone who is starting to like participate in hackathons?
For hackathons, I would suggest if he is going for a machine learning role, he should be learning Python as his main primitive programming language. Apart from it, I think he should also be having a decent enough knowledge of backend, because in hackathons you are just not making models, you are making an end-to-end project.
Mm.
So you are just not expected to give just a model to someone else. You just should be giving the outputs in the JSON format, and should be knowing how to run a Flask server or a Django server, so that you can make a backend for the front end person, or you can provide the data to the front end person. Because like usually we just make collab notebooks or something like that, but in hackathons we are expected to make end-to-end projects. So you should be having a basic knowledge of making servers or the Flask servers, either Flask servers or the Django servers. So yeah, I think that is one thing one should be also focusing alongside the ML skills he is doing.
Got it. Definitely. Okay, so backend you suggest like Django or Flask in general.
Flask. Yeah.
Got it.
Yes. I personally did Flask, but some other persons do Django also, but I personally prefer Flask.
Mhm. So do you like suggest people to know front end as well? Like most of my friends didn't do any front end, so we were like finding it difficult to get front end people for hackathons.
It is good to have front end knowledge, but I think for a machine learning person, I feel backend plus machine learning can suffice him. But if he has front end knowledge, but then he can become a full stack person and can implement the solutions on its own. But the first priority should be backend because that is the thing which is linked to the machine learning model. So first priority should be the backend, and then if he has time, then definitely he can go for the front end part also.
Mhm. Got it. Um, okay. Okay, so this is more of like a personal question. Like, how did you balance all the hackathon participation with all the academic responsibility, college courses, assignments, and everything?
Uh, I feel dedication is something which can push someone forward more. Like if he is dedicated enough, he will get the time out of his schedule. But generally, I what I did was for the academics part, I usually did it in the last 10 days of the exams. So it was not an issue for me that managing both things. I prioritize the task according to my timeline that I should be focusing on the exams when the exams are coming before 2 or 3 weeks from it, and rest of the time I just enhanced my ML skills or participated in the hackathons and like this. So this is how I prioritize the tasks.
Got it. And like, what advice would you give for leveraging these hackathon participations to enhance one's like resume or CV or like professional networking for jobs and all?
Yeah, like I said, hackathons are a place where you will implement your solutions. You have implement the concepts you have learned. So hackathons not only for the resume sake also, but for the skills case sake also, because ML is not just the reading the research papers or learning about the theoretical concept. You should also be able to implement the concepts you have learned. So not only for the resume sake, you should also be participating in the hackathons for the your skill set improvement. And apart from it, like it also has the job opportunities. Like I said, I have participated in various hackathons which resulted in job opportunities for my fellow teammates. So that is also one thing. And apart from this, the network opportunities that it provides is also very appreciable, that you can connect with the likewise minds that what others are building. Like it is a very good self-assessment platform. Like you can know where you stand among the IITs or other colleges who are participating in the hackathon. It is a very good self-assessment platform. Like which should be showing you the mirror where what things you are lacking right now and what things you are strong at. So yeah, these are the things which hackathons provides you. Apart from also the resume, these are the things which are more valuable, I feel.
Mm-hmm. I also feel that, yeah. It just shows it's more even important than the personal projects as well. There's something like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
better.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So this is like a general question. So what can you like provide any tips or selecting the right hackathons to participate in? I think there are many hackathons that come up like on HackerRank or on Unstop and all. So how do you decide?
I have several indicators which I feel are important. Like first is the who is organizing that hackathons. Like
Mhm.
if any reputed IITs or any reputed organization is organizing that hackathons, then it has a weight on itself. Then I feel who are the sponsors of it. Like I participated in the BitSco hackathon. There were the sponsors were like Nissan IQ, Google DeepMind, and Amazon. So there was a job fair alongside it. So you can also see what sponsors are sponsoring that event. So you can expect job opportunities from that sponsor or any goodies or any appreciations from that sponsors. So you should also be seeing about the sponsor and also the past year projects what they have built, so that if you feel the projects which were built in the past year were good and can enhance your skills or can boost your skill set, you should be definitely participating in it and should be making a team in it.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. And you've participated in lots of hackathons, right? So what would you say are the key factors that contribute to the success? Definitely time management, dedication, and anything else?
uh, I feel knowledge is something which is more important because, and also the implementation skills alongside it, because these are the things which will be most important during the hackathon. The knowledge you possess, how you solve a problem, how you think about what problems others are facing, and how you manage the time, how you build your team. So these are the things which matters the most for the success during any hackathon. And also you should be open to the knowledges you are acquiring from anyone else. So these are the things which contribute to success in hackathon.
Got it. Definitely. And do you think that like having a good LinkedIn presence also helps, like reaching out to people on LinkedIn? for opportunities, networking, and all.
Yeah, the concept like building in open or building in internet is very common nowadays, that
Mm.
you should be telling what you are doing in the current days is very recommended, because I feel that is how you can connect to your persons you want to connect with. Like if you are sharing like what you are building, like you are learning about LLMs right now, so the startup founders, if he gets impressed with the personal project or what you are learning, he can contact you on the LinkedIn or on the Twitter also. So I feel building in open is a thing which everyone should also look onto.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Got it. Okay, I think that more or less wraps up the questions. So, one last, like, what final piece of advice or any kind of like from your journey that you would give to someone who is aspiring to excel in hackathons and in general machine learning overall?
I would say you should be, apart from the learning the concept, you should be actively participating in some events, not only just sitting in your room and just learning about the concept. Either pick professors and do intern under them, or pick any work experience or any hackathon, so that you are more close to the open world problems which the world is facing, and you are solving the real world problems. So not only just watching the lectures or watching the tutorials is important, but also you should be actively participating in the research interns or in the hackathons or in any other work experience you can get. So you should be open to that, and that is one thing which sets someone apart from just a machine learning concept reader, or someone from a industrialist or working in the industry.
I think that wraps up all my questions. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for your time too.
Bye.
Thank you.